Big hug to all the family out in Willacy County. Suerte, Freddy. You know what that theme means. Everyone loves Ramon. Ramon Garcia is the judge for Hidalgo County, our guest right now, because commissioners have moved forward with the schematic for a new courthouse and approved the price tag for it as well. Judge, it is a pleasure as always. $157 million. It's the first thing that people gravitate to, so let's talk about it. Where do we get the money to pay for the new courthouse?
Well, that may be what people will first gravitate to, as you say, but let's talk about the need. You know, we've got 6 courtrooms in temporary buildings. We've got a district court located behind an alley, the old Fitzpatrick and Osmond storage building, converted into a makeshift district courtroom. We've got another one located about 7 or 8 miles away from the courtroom, from the courthouse. We've got about 110,000 square feet, 60 plus year old building. Our need is more like 463,000. The costs are not going to get any cheaper if we wait, and the need is not going to be any less if we wait. So I'd like to begin by focusing on the need. I think everybody that looks at our situation understands and appreciates the fact that we've got to do something. Then the issue becomes, how in the world do we wind up paying for it? 157 million God, that's a lot more than I thought the price was going to be when we first started talking about this. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, that's an estimate.
And as in all estimates, we're likely to go higher after that, more than likely.
Well, we put in a $13.5 million contingency fund,
okay.
Included in there. We allowed for about 13.5 more than they were saying we need. So the estimate's on the high side. So hopefully it will not go higher, but I can't tell you until the bids come in.
Yes, sir. What is the new courthouse going to do, sir? Does it consolidate all county government into one 10-story facility, bring everyone in, including, as you said, one of the district courts? Maybe do you bring all the district courts over to that new building as well? What happens at that new facility?
Yeah. All of the district courts and all of the county courts of law will be in one building, and we're going to have 2 floors that will house 7 more courtrooms in the future. That they'll just be shells.
Okay.
That way we'll be allowing for some future growth that'll take us into 2200.
That is something that the state of Texas, you think, would be helping you pay for, don't you think?
No, that's not the obligation of the state. It's a county commissioner's court obligation in all of the 254 counties in Texas.
Okay. Joining us on 710 KQRV, we're talking about the new potential courthouse for Hidalgo County, is County Judge Ramon Garcia.
Judge Tim Sullivan here, and you lay out a number of concerns with the current courthouse: safety, security, liability. Could you elaborate on those?
Yes. You want me to do it now?
Yeah. Let's take security first.
Okay. Well, if you've been to the courthouse recently and you see all those people wearing orange suits walking right next to you, those are the defendants. Those are the people charged with a crime that are being processed. It's a very difficult issue, security, at the courthouse. You've got the judges that are going to be doing the sentencing, the juries that jurors that are going to be determining guilt or innocence, all of them walking right next to the family members, right next to the defendants themselves. And the exposure level is just, it's very high. And that's on the security side. On the health issue, you've got a 60-plus-year-old building. We don't know how much asbestos is located inside that building. We don't know how much mold is located inside that building. We've had a lot of moisture problems throughout the years. And who knows what's going to happen when we start removing some of those walls and what's behind them. They estimate that the cost to just bring it up to code, just to comply with our present code requirements for imposed by the fire marshals and building codes, it's going to be about $25 million. At the end of spending $25 million, and maybe more, depending on what's behind those walls, we're still going to have a 60-plus-year-old building with 60-plus-year-old building problems.
So remodeling, not a cost-effective option.
I don't believe it is, and people that do it for a living tell me that it isn't.
No, you're going to have to deal with that group of people in the red shirts who sit in on your commission meetings and who are probably going to say that there are a lot of unnecessary costs involved with this project. How do you convince that group of penny pinchers that you've cut out all the frills here?
Well, we're not just worried about and concerned about them. We're concerned about it ourselves. I mean, we live in this county. We pay taxes here. And we're trying to hold the line. We haven't raised our taxes in 12 years. We don't want to do it. We don't intend to do it. And we're trying to look at all of the options. And we're trying to see if we can get this thing done without having to increase our tax rate.
Is there to that end, Judge? And I know that you're running the numbers and crunching them. Are you looking for potential savings in, I don't know, other departments, maybe getting a little money back from the sheriff's office, selling off some armored vehicles or something unnecessary that you may have in stock at the precinct offices or something like that to try to bring some money in and try to save it?
We are looking for some savings to help us pay for the building in the long term. But right now we have a city commission in the city of Edinburgh that is very pro-economic development, and they are committing themselves, and they haven't yet, but I believe they will, to this project, and they're committing the City of Edinburgh Economic Development Corporation to about 25% of the cost of the project.
Okay, all right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Parking space, it will be near the courthouse square, right? The new facility, or have you talked about parking space? Because that's always been an issue in downtown. Right.
Well, the old Chevy building.
The old Robert Chevrolet place.
Right. There's about 3 blocks that we purchased, and that's what we hope. That's what we're going to have it be.
All right, Judge. Hey, so what's next, Judge? Well, what happens next, sir? What is next in this process?
We're going to be deciding on our June 30th meeting whether to go ahead or not, and if so, what to do. Do we pick an architect from within our pool of architects, or do we let it out for architects to bid on this project from throughout the state and country?
All right. Judge, thank you much. We'll keep in touch. Judge Ramon Garcia from Hidalgo County joining us on 710 KURV.